Which one of your children do you love the most?
Oh, come on, you're not saying that.
It's me.
It's me.
It's me.
It's me.
It's me.
Hey, it's me.
It's me.
You know what? I'm going to cry.
I am a poor, wayfaring stranger, while journeying through this world of woe. Yet there's no say.
Okay, so I am Rebecca Eller. The year is 2020. Today's date is January 20th. It's Dad's birthday today.
Yes. I didn't think of it either.
Wow. Okay. So we're here with Charlotte Luginbuhl, Lanz-Luginbuhl Limburger. So we're going to start with a question. Mom, could you please tell us some of your earliest memories about growing up with Aunt Pauline, Aunt Ella, and Great-Grandpa Gerber?
Well, I loved it, of course. They were very good to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a good girl, I think. Probably got spoiled. I did a lot of work around the house. I helped Aunt Pauline. She did a lot of ironing for other people. And Ella had to go to work, but Aunt Pauline stayed home with Grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
He was pretty crippled with arthritis. And I used to go out in the barn and help him also, and help him with hay too.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that. I loved being on the farm. And
Where was the farm?
on West Road, 21 West Road in Ellington.
Mm-hmm. Which is that Route 83 now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is, yeah.
Did he have cows, horses?
He had about maybe 6 or 7 cows. And because he was crippled, he had arthritis real bad. He had a stool. It was a round seat with one leg and a strap. And he would strap that around his stomach. And he didn't have to always lift his seat to move to another cow.
Oh.
It just hung
Just
on
kind
him.
of flat
It was
behind him.
different, yeah.
Did he make a living at all with that?
Yes, that
the
was
milk,
his, yeah,
or-
yeah.
Okay.
He used to send it to Bergren's Dairy,
Okay.
and they'd come pick it up. He had to pour it into big cans and put it in cold water.
Mm-hmm.
Then
So-
Uncle Fritz was there. That was my mother's brother, and he had 2 beautiful horses, and I loved them.
Mm.
Ned and, oh boy, I forgot the other one name.
Were they draft horses, so they pulled
Yeah,
wagons?
yes,
and
they
things like
did.
that?
Yep.
Did you have a vehicle, a motor vehicle?
Did I?
Did they have a motor vehicle?
Aunt Ella did.
Yeah.
She had an Essex.
Okay. So you were born in 1925,
Yeah.
and this probably would have been about, what, 1930? You were maybe 5 or 6 when you
Yeah.
started living with them?
Mhm.
How old
Yeah.
were you when you started?
Oh, I was about 2 or 3 when I started living there.
Okay.
And my mother had twins. And when she started having her labor, they sent me across the street to Grandma and Grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
And
Was your grandmother still alive?
oh yes.
That was
about,
Rosetta, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was about 10 years old when she passed away.
Okay. So they sent you over to kind of help care for you,
They cared for me, yes, yep.
and then
And then my folks moved to Manchester from there. They lived across the street diagonally. And when they moved to Manchester, Mom came, she wanted to take me with, and Aunt Pauline would not let me go. She got so attached to me. So Mom left me there, not knowing that I would stay there forever. Not ever, but. So I went to Ellington schools, Cogswell School, and then to Rockville High School. And I got married in, what year did we get married? 1940. Oh, no, I repented in 1942, joined the church.
Okay.
In 1946, I married Herb Luginbuhl. And there was an apartment upstairs in Grandpa's house there, and we lived there for about 3-4 years. And then in 1950, we bought the farm in Tolland. So then I was no longer Aunt Pauline's little girl.
So who do you think was the person who most influenced your life?
I think it might have been Grandpa. He spoke very little English, and I learned to speak Swiss to him, and he spoke Swiss to me. I can still speak some Swiss today, but nobody around here knows what I'm saying. And I think it would be good if I could use it, because if you don't use it, you lose it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you regret not having asked your parents?
Well, sometimes I say, well, I wish Mom was here, that she made something and I wanted the recipe and now I don't have it. Yeah, there's some questions that I wanted to ask, but I can't think right now what they are.
Okay. Okay, what was the happiest or a few of the happiest moments of your life? If you think way back.
Well, when I repented, I was very happy about that. When I got married, when Urban asked for me, I took it to the Lord in prayer, and the answer was yes.
Now, you knew him prior to him.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of grew up with each other, right?
Well, his birthday is January, and mine is in December, and we're both the same age.
Same year.
Yeah, same year.
Yeah, 1925.
And we went to schools together,
Yeah,
but he was very shy. He never asked me out or anything. I don't think he
but
ever
you
had.
noticed him.
Oh, yeah, I noticed him.
What'd you think?
Well, I'll tell
Kind of
you.
looks like Tyson, huh?
He's right there.
So you were happy when he asked for you.
Very, very happy.
Well,
And I was very happy to go on a farm. It was a lot of work. We worked together.
you were a good match, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
You enjoyed being a dairy farmer's wife.
Right. Yep.
How many cows did you have when you first started?
10.
In that little dinky barn.
Yeah. And the milk parlor was separate from the barn. Outside, I had to walk, carrying 2 pails of milk from the barn over to the milk room. Pour the milk into these cans through a sieve, and then he would take them when they're filled, close the cover, and put them in the tub with ice water.
Okay. So the little house that was on this property in Tolland on Schnipset Lake Road, did it have heat? Did it have a bathroom? Did it have, what kind of a house was it?
Well, there were 15 children in that house, believe it or not, and here I come with 3. And no bathroom. So the first thing we did was take one of the little bedrooms that she had there and made a bathroom out of it. That was a good thing.
Do you remember when you purchased it? Was it in the summer? Was it in the winter? What time of year was it?
I just don't remember that.
I'm just thinking of you running out to the outhouse in the middle of winter. How awful.
No, I didn't have to.
You didn't have to.
I think we got the bathroom done before we moved in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The house was small.
Yeah.
It was small.
Did he have farming experience before this?
Oh, yeah.
So he grew up on a farm too?
Right.
Okay.
Well, he worked for Baylor's at Ellington, Godford and John. Remember John Baylor? It was during the war, and this was before we were married, of course.
During World War II?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And there were already 3 of his brothers in the service, Martin, Robert, and Dave. And Mother said, "No way is Urban going." And so, if you were a farmer, you had to have so many points to be legible to stay home. And is that the right word?
Yeah.
And so they asked the Baylors if he could come down there because they had a big farm. And so he did. He left his house.
So
and
he
went
lived
down.
right there
He
with
lived right
John
there
and
with
Cord?
John. Yep.
Yeah.
At a young age?
Yep.
He's about, what, 15 or so when
Well,
he...
let's see, was he still in school?
For the draft.
Yeah.
I can't remember how old he was
Yeah.
then.
It was kind of common to it have a lot of children in that day and farm a few out.
Yeah, it was.
Because, I mean, taking care of 11 children is no small feat.
Right.
Yeah. So he went to live with Baylor's. He had his farming experience there. And
Yes.
then how did you get the money to buy that farm?
Well, the Baylors helped us out. They gave us the money.
Mhm.
We paid it all back, every bit, every cent.
How
And
much did the farm cost and what came with it? How many acres? Do you remember?
I don't remember. There was some land across the street from where the house and barn was.
Mm-hmm.
That's Servants Road now.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some of that, but it was not, you couldn't farm it. So we, in the point up there, we built a couple of houses and people built their homes there.
Holding on to you. And when she turns around in the
What are some of the things you're most proud of in your life?
And I made it to be 94 years old. That's one thing.
And you're so healthy and got a great mind yet.
Well, I'm very forgetful. That's one thing.
Well, you beat the pants off me and upwards all the time, so.
You should have seen it that time.
Without any apology. I mean, it's pretty good. Okay, so important lessons that you've learned from life. There must have been a lot of learning that you had to do on the farm, raising 7 children, being a wife and a mother. You made mistakes along the way. So what are some of your most important lessons?
I had to learn patience, for one thing.
Mhm.
My children were so good. The girls were so good in the house. If I asked Crystal to go clean out that closet, it's a mess, and you see shoes coming flying out of there and clothes, everything came out. And then she cleaned it nicely, and they all went back nicely.
Mhm.
The boys are good on the farm, out in the barns and fields and everything.
I think that was interchangeable with Dawn and me. As girls, we did some housework, but I think Dawn and I both preferred to be outside.
Yep,
You know,
Dawn especially. Can I tell you about her 4-H heifer?
tell me about the 4-H heifer. Yeah.
Well, 4-H fair was going on.
Yeah.
And she had a heifer that she was going to show.
Mm-hmm.
But lo and behold, the day before, she went to get the heifer out to groom her.
Mm-hmm.
And there she was in the manure pit. We had a big liquid manure pit. And of course, the guys had to come right away and get her out of there.
Was she doing the cow paddle?
She was trying to get up.
Not the dog paddle, but the
No.
cow paddle.
She was trying to get up all she couldn't do it. And they had to get her out of there. And I was in the kitchen looking out the window towards the barn. And here comes Dawn, just her head down, and just the rope was just dragging. And the poor cow was hardly walking. She's so full of manure. It was awful. Well, she went and cleaned that heifer. Got her nice and clean. Went to the fair the next morning and got grand champion.
That's Dawnie.
Yeah.
She perseveres.
Yep.
There's a lot of things that happened on the farm that I'm sure you learned a lot, like when Daryl fell off the silo ladder.
Yep.
And Glenn, was it Glenn that got his shirt caught in the thing, or was that Dad?
No, that was Dad.
Yeah.
Power takeoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ripped his
his
heavy
clothes right
jacket
off.
right off of him, and shirt, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And if he wasn't strong enough, he would have gotten hurt worse.
Yeah.
Um,
And Sharon got her head caught
yes, I was going to
in
say
the-
that.
Go ahead.
Well, we had a chicken coop there.
Mhm.
We tore it down soon after this, but there was like 2 buildings kind of like this with an opening. And for some reason, she thought she could get through there and get out of there. But she got her head kind of caught there, and there was a nail sticking out. And we told her to stay there because she can't move. Well, I ran up to the field. Dad was up here. There was something with hay or something, and he came flying down here, and he just simply moved it apart, and she got out. I don't think she even got scratched, but it was scary.
Yeah.
That was a scary thing. Another thing, she fell on the steps coming out of the kitchen door there, broke her arm. And she had a cast on for quite a long time and had it taken off. And I guess it was the next day she fell again and broke the same arm. Poor thing.
Well, she didn't learn, did she?
How did Urban make you laugh?
Oh my. I got to think about that one a minute.
Take your time.
We all laughed together, you know. He probably did something dumb and I laughed
Was
at
he
him, so
goofy?
he laughed too, you know.
Was he playful and goofy?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He was a peach.
So, Mom, what does friendship mean to you?
Well, I kind of learned that living here all of a sudden. I just got a new neighbor next to me here. Can I say that?
Yeah.
And
Where are you living right now, just so for...
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm living at Parker Place in Tolland.
So you're back in Tolland.
I'm back in Tolland again. I love it. I love my apartment. I'm very comfortable here. And I make friends with everyone that comes in. A neighbor came next door to me over here, and she's one of these. I hear knocking on the door, you know. And she's sorry that she's bothering me, but then she has a question. She came in this morning too. And I told her a couple of jokes this morning, and first you know we were hugging. And I don't know just what's wrong. I shouldn't say anything, but you know, it's...
So you're making new friends here,
Oh, yeah.
and it's very important,
Yes,
the
yeah.
connections that you're making, especially with Jean Ludwig.
Yeah, yes. I knew them when you kids were all
Yeah,
small.
Ivy
young.
and I went to kindergarten
Yeah,
together,
yeah.
her daughter.
And
Here they are reunited after, what, 60 years?
oh yeah, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep.
And they were farmers too, so
They
you
were, well, he had oxen. And right now he's sitting at his work table and he's pasting little clay on a cow. Is it a cow? What has he got in there? No, I guess it's a horse. Must be a horse. And that paste dries and then it's clay really, I think. And it's firm. And then he paints it.
He has a
and-
little craft.
Yeah, he's good.
All right, what would be your best advice to a young person today?
Oh boy. I don't know what to say there.
Can I
Yeah, help me.
help you out here?
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I remember you always saying that I passed on to our children is this too shall pass.
That's right. That's
So
right. Yes.
talk a little bit about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
What do you...
Well, for one thing, I remember we'd get invited out somewhere for dinner, a meal. And the kids would say, as we're getting there, I suppose we have to sit at the kids' table. And I would say, how long does it take you to eat? You sit there, eat, and then you're free. You don't have to sit there all night. This too shall pass.
On a small scale, yeah, but on
Yeah.
a larger scale too, even when you're faced with the problems that you had after Dad was diagnosed, that passed. Everything passes in life.
It does.
So I think that's a good advice to give a young person to say, you know what, give it 3 days, you'll
Yeah.
feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I tell you, you asked me about Dad, what I made him laugh. We were having dinner at the table, and it was we always read scripture at the table, and he was looking for something to read, and Ross and,
Daryl and Glenn.
Glenn and Daryl were sitting next to each other, and they started to argue and push each other, and he had the book open to Job, and that's what he thought he was going to read, and they were disturbing him, and he looked up, he said, Job!
Yeah, he pounded on the table.
Pounded on the table, and of course we all burst out laughing. It was hilarious, really, and of course he laughed too. I don't think he read Job that night.
Gospel according to Daryl and
Yeah.
Glenn. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
I have a good story about Dad too, but this is about you, not me. So anyway, what would you say to your younger self?
To my younger self?
Yeah. Did you ever think that you would live to be 94?
Never thought about it. No.
Would you have done anything different knowing that you lived this long? What would
No.
you say to your younger self?
Well, you know, I worked hard,
Mm-hmm.
and it helped me, I think, to be strong. I did what I could, and it all worked out.
I know.
Yeah.
I still can see you out on the windrower, driving that
Yeah. That was-
huge piece of equipment.
Yeah,
Big smile on your face.
I loved it.
I know. You were such a hard worker.
Yeah.
And then you come in and get supper ready and do laundry and
Can.
bathe
Well, at
7
first-
kids. And
At first, it was hard because the kids were little. You kids were younger then.
yeah.
And I would go out and milk the cows first, sweep in the mangers and all that stuff,
Mhm.
and then come in and make sure that your kids were all dressed good for school, made your breakfast, and got you off on the bus. Many times I had to put the dishes in the sink.
Mhm.
I did not have a dishwasher or anything like that. And I had to go out again and finish helping whatever I was doing. We raised tobacco, and that was a lot of work, all day sometimes.
Yeah, I
First you
remember.
put the plants in,
Yeah.
and then you have to hoe them, and then you have to chop them off and put them up in the barn. And
We all helped with that
you
too.
all helped with that, yeah.
I remember being
Yeah.
out in the tobacco fields. I was down in Ellington, down by back Uncle Eddie's. Was there a
no,
field there? or
no,
where?
it was we rented some of Baylor's land on Middle Road in Ellington,
Okay.
and
Did that bring an income that was worth the work?
Alma and Eddie were going half with us. We did it together. Grandpa would drive the tractor because he could drive straight rows, and Herb and I and Ed and Alma were on the setting them. It was, I can't say that it really brought a lot of money. We had to wait. Many times there was a storm coming, and some of the tobacco was ruined, and that was a loss. That was bad. That's strictly a farm crop that it takes, the weather has to be right for it. First year we had a whole acre of pickles. Oh, you kids hated to go out and pick those pickles. There were bees everywhere. They're afraid of the bees.
I don't remember the pickle farm,
You don't?
the pickle picking.
No, you were. It's in my walker.
We can.
Call from 1-860-817-655.
Probably just a fake call.
Hello? Hello? Oh, Courtney, how you doing?
What world event had the most impact on you, Mom?
I think it was when President Kennedy was shot. I was so shocked at that. So sad. We were just building the apartment, the addition on our house, and I was sitting on the floor in the bedroom. I was painting in a closet or something, and Martin Luginbuhl, my brother-in-law, came in to check the cabinets. He was making some cabinets for us, and he came over and told me, and it was awful.
I was in 4th grade, actually sitting in this room right here. This was
Yeah.
my 4th grade
Yeah.
classroom. And Mr. Clegg, my teacher, told us about that. And we all had he said a prayer out loud, which you wouldn't do anymore in school today. And then I came home, and I remember you upstairs in that front bedroom crying and crying, the radio on, and listening to that news. It was devastating. Yeah. He was a good president. Okay, a couple more questions. What does your church mean to you?
The church means everything to me. I talk to God all the time. I thank Him daily, all the time. And I go there for a blessing. I asked him for a blessing. The singing is beautiful. I love the singing. And we have some wonderful ministers right now. Not that they weren't all good, but some of them are exceptional. And I look forward to that.
It's very important to you.
And yes, and the fellowship
Right.
of all the people that we meet.
So you were raised in this church with Grandpa Gerber starting out as the original elder
Yes.
of
Yeah.
the Rockville branch of
Right.
the Apostolic Church.
Yeah.
Was he very strict?
Sort of. I remember one time I was whistling, and he told me to stop whistling. That's not for a girl. You know, I was just whistling a song or something,
Yeah.
and I behaved.
Yeah. So you learned obedience early on,
I did.
not like me.
I'm not sorry either. I'm not sorry.
No, of course you're not sorry. You had a good life. It sounds like you've had a wonderful life. So one more question, Mom. Is
Yeah.
there anything that you always wanted to do, but you never got the chance to?
Oh boy. There's something I'd like to do now that I used to do. Will that help you?
Sure.
I would love to be out there ice skating. Too bad you took my skates away.
I didn't take your skates.
No. I loved to ice skate. And there was always somewhere to skate. When I was a kid, every day after school, I would go down to Nelson's Pond and skate. And then after we married, we had our own pond, and we went down to the Snip. Had hot dogs and potato chips and stuff.
Great times.
It
I
was.
can still see you skating. Your little black tights on and your white skates, skating backwards.
Yes.
You taught me how to skate backwards.
Alma and I were skating one time in Tolkaville on a pond down there.
Yeah.
And I was skating backwards, and she was going forward.
So you were holding on to each other. and
Yes,
she was-
yeah, we were skating together.
Yeah.
There was a stick frozen in the ice. Of course, I didn't see it. I think it was night anyway. And my skate hit it, and I went down and landed on my butt and broke my coccyx. That's the last bone on your spine.
Yeah. Broke it right off.
No, no.
There's no.
I sat on a donut for a long time.
Can't put a cast on something like that.
No,
Yeah.
no.
So what do you think about the changes that we've seen in the last 80 years or even the last 20 years?
Yeah. There were a lot of changes in my life, and I had to accept them. And I always said, if you accept things like that and deal with them, you get along much better. So one thing, we had to leave the farm after Dad passed away, and I had to think about that. Then we changed from cows to horses, made a horse stable, and Glenn did all that work. And I worked until one very cold morning.
You were probably in your late 60s at this point.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. One very, very cold morning, Glenn walked in, and I was mucking out stalls, and I said, Glenn, I'm ready to sell. And he said, good. So that was the beginning of us thinking about leaving.
So do you think you had an easy way of just rolling with things as they changed and
I had to.
accepting?
Had to accept it. I mean, it was hard to see the cows be sold off, you know.
Yeah.
The cows went, and then we kept the farm. That's when we made the horse stables. And then tried to sell the the farm,
Yeah.
and had a very hard time with that too.
Right.
And then went to Longview Village, and we heard that Mr. Santini was going to put in a swimming pool and some kind of a building there, and maybe build some more houses.
Mhm.
So I said to Walt, I think we should get out of here. They're going to push our rent up, and we're as high as we could go.
Yeah.
And so we did. We came up to Longview Village.
So let's talk a little bit about marrying Walter Limburger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Dad died in 1984.
Yes. I was a widow for 18 years
Mhm.
and having a great time. never thinking of getting married again.
Mhm.
Walt, his wife was very sick,
Mhm.
and she passed away in 2001. He was living in Vermont then, New Hampshire, excuse me. And he was lonely
Mhm.
after she passed away, and so he would come to Rockville every weekend. No, it's on the door.
Oh.
That's the door. Somebody wants to come in. Oh, I'd stop.
He's in New Hampshire, and he was lonely.
Yeah. And he'd come down here, and then he repented. I never saw him to talk to him at all. I had no idea.
But you knew him when you were kids.
Yes, we did things together.
Yeah.
He had a guitar. He'd play the guitar, and we'd do things together. We ice skated together.
Uh-huh.
Really?
And yeah, and so we had good times as kids. And all of a sudden, we met in the hallway of church one day. There weren't many people around. I don't know where they were, but I greeted him and I told him I'm very happy for him,
Mhm.
you know. And he thought that was nice that I said that to him. He didn't know I said that to all the converts. And I guess he thought, oh, there's Charlotte. Maybe she'll make me a good wife. So he went to see Kevin, and I got the question, and I prayed about it, and no way was I going to get married again.
Mhm.
But the answer kept coming back, yes. And we were in our 70s then. I don't know exactly what he
I
was.
think you were 79.
I could do
Do
some.
you have some kind of record at the church for
Oh yeah.
the oldest marriage?
Yeah.
I remember hearing that announcement and not even believing it.
No, I guess
I
nobody.
thought it was,
But you know, Dawn came and Crystal. All you girls were there that day,
Yeah.
and I guess some of those sitting behind us, something's going on here. But I don't think they ever thought. So anyway, we had a happy life together, but it was short.
Well, 17 years, right? You were married?
16, I think. We married in 2002 then.
Okay, so that's about all the questions I have for you. Do you have anything else that you want to say or talk about, or are you happy?
I am very happy, and one thing, I absolutely love my children. They're so good to me, and the grandchildren are too. And I really don't think I deserve it, but I accept
I
everything.
think you do.
Graham, how many grandchildren do you have?
I have 22 grandchildren.
How many great?
I have 11 girls and 11 boys. How did that happen, huh? Great-grandchildren, I think there's 53.
And great,
And 3 great-greats. Courtney just had the last
Third.
great-great.
And they named
And they
her?
named her Charlotte.
Charlotte.
And she tells me they're going to call her Charlie. And everybody loves it,
Yeah.
but me.
So
No,
who's
but-
your favorite?
We get along. I almost went down under the table that day when Daryl called me. We were at a restaurant, Becky and I,
Yeah.
and the phone rang and she handed it to me and he said, there's a very, very important call now. I want you to listen. And he said, Courtney had a baby girl and she named her Charlotte. And I almost went down under the table. I couldn't believe it.
It's a very popular name, believe it or
Well,
not.
they tell me that,
Yeah.
so. I had nothing to do with naming myself, or anybody
Well,
else's
yeah.
children for that matter, but,
It's true.
oh,
I think you've lived a very good and full life, a life of faith and hope and love. And your children love you, just as much as you love them.
I know they do.
You know,
And your grandchildren do too.
Yeah.
one thing that I think with us cousins, when we all have a ton of a bag full of memories, from games to playing to being at
Yes, yeah.
Eaton Road. Just you've given us so many memories, all of us.
Living with you.
Yes, that's right. I had quite a few granddaughters living with me. Crystal's 2 girls were here.
And that this too shall pass, you used to say that to me all
Is
the
that
time.
right? I'm sorry that I had to stop driving because of my age and my eyes. I have macular degeneration. I feel strong. My legs aren't the best, but I have to have a walker. Thankfully, I do have one. And I hope that I can continue to stay well, because I have another grandson getting married in October.
Yeah, Hayden.
Yeah, Hayden and Stephanie. I would like to.
Sarah's baby is on the way.
Yes, a lot of things are happening at this year.
Yeah.
Whatever God wants,
That's right.
it's His will, not mine.
Right.
Where do you get your optimism? Where do you think your optimism came from? Because that's the sort of theme for your life here. I
Yeah,
mean,
it is.
you've come through, you've understood that getting through is going to take some time, and you're going to hit some hard spots. But
Yeah.
where did the optimism come from? Did you learn it?
I
You
guess
just
so.
had it?
I don't know. I just had it, I guess.
When autumn
It's a good behavior to model.
leaves start to fall.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
You passed it on. Yeah.
We often, us girl cousins, often talk when we go away about how strong we all are and how, both mentally and physically, and how we get that from you.
Yeah. Well, you can get it from me. I still have mine. I haven't lost
Touche.
I haven't lost my sense of humor yet, that's for sure.
That's great. That's a good way to end this little chat. Thanks, Mom. We love you so much.
Thank you for what you're doing here.
Thank you.
And soon I'll hear. Oh, winter song, but I miss you most of all, my darling. When autumn leaves start to fall, I miss you most of all, my darling. When autumn leaves start